know, we have our first one. They're here for certain moms. Down here on Sunday.
Angie, are you going to go over this one?
Do you invite everybody over to our house?
You started last year.
My mom's family up in Carroll.
Lots of good things about you.
That's usually 2 or 3 weeks.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Tony Smith. Yeah. Nice to meet you.
A couple folks who got up on the trails today. I think when we get to that point, the conversation might get a little more detail.
Oh, yeah. We were driving back from
Carved up.
we but yeah, we
and there was that cave, like the places on the deck, you know? Anyway, let's just sit out here. Is that right?
There's some chairs in there. Chairs up here.
Oh, okay.
There's one here, there's one there. There's a lot of seats here.
Yeah, I know.
it seemed like a number of people here in South Florida going into it, and but I know they have a drive for some photos out there. Seemed like that was going decent. I'm sure. And also, where do you start?
That's online, the one they're selling that.
No, you can't just go just anywhere.
John, there's a chair back there in the corner.
I don't like it.
Let's try that last time. Who's our next man?
Oh, probably easy. Yeah.
Okay, let me know.
How are you? Good.
I saw this other one again. Skag or something.
That's for the real safety plans for the small towns in the Mappa region.
Okay. Oh, I mean,
I didn't know that.
cities would do that, they said.
You know,
Yeah, and I sat through one and it wasn't anything. I mean, it was
I had a job lined up with that sort of
it's a city limits, it's not.
and
Harlan and Monroe Valley.
a little rough.
Destroyed from the side of
Well, that's
the Los Hills. They can be used kids can't build on.
so she felt that she had obligations to keep it not in disrepair, or at least not supposed to be.
No, there's no restriction, there's no more. She would come up there, there's no restriction.
They were just told just not, you let it complete.
I've got a letter from the one, there's no more going on.
So they can build on.
Kind of up in the air.
Oh, really? Okay. Nice.
If you
Everybody's supposed to start somewhere. You know, that's I did my first Catholic
Solar about the
and I have something that says
No, it's not. That's what I got.
money on it.
No, it's not. I'm not providing.
At 9 o'clock, we'll call a meeting to order. Move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Any further
Oh,
discussion?
wait,
Want to get a change in there? Give
we're
a
supposed
change.
to add is 21.5 parentheses 1 parentheses K to the Iowa code. I
What
thought
says
this-
that?
Didn't it say that in there?
Mine says 21.5 parentheses K. Supposed to be parentheses 1 parentheses K.
Okay,
It's minor.
all right. I'll move to approve the agenda based upon the minor change.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We need to open the public hearing for interior road. Public hearing is now open. John, do you have?
Just quick comments on it. Landowner requested that we close it there. Tried to drive it, I didn't make it all the way through.
You can't.
Yeah.
That sounds like a dare, but I wasn't gonna put the county car through that. Pretty much impassable, kind of goes up through their farmstead. And, so there's just two landowners on it, one being the state. Both got certified mail to one of them, and is advertised in the paper.
I had the state call me this morning too and say they are in favor of this.
Okay. One less way to get
Yeah,
back.
I did get an email this morning and Dina's here. Dina, do you want to talk about your concerns with it?
With the road, I couldn't find it on the map, so I didn't know if it was in where I live, where it was, and I don't care if it was where I live, I'm for all the people in the
It's
road.
just below
But-
Monroe County, they're in Jackson Township.
And there's two roads on each side of it. I think one's a level C
Yep.
to the west and then the other one's a level B.
Ideal in Ireland. It looks like they just go over to 183, which is right there, you know?
Yep.
But my concern on these roads is that they are, you know, you do make a little bit money off of them. We have elderly people that can't do the hills and stuff like that, our population, and I don't see tourists here. And if there's tourists, I do adventures on the back roads. I don't say like the tourism told me, they need to stay on the main roads. But since this one is like going to a house, then, you know, it's not going anywhere. But my concern is blocking off these, like Melody Oaks Trail that was shut down. But you are making money off of them, so there's no reason to keep shutting them.
And this road is not getting reclassified. This road is being vacated, so it goes back on the tax roll.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Is it going on the tax roll as agriculture?
Yes, should be.
Yeah, that's what it'll have to be.
I don't
So,
know the.
How does that affect the taxes? My understanding is if it's zoned as agriculture, it's not taxed the same, based on the conversation last week.
Well, there was no tax on it before, now you tax as ag, because it's part of his farm, part of it is.
Okay.
It's all part of his farm,
So to Dina's point, you might be losing more income doing this on these
Probably
strips
about
of
a break
land?
even, I would
yes. I would
assume.
think even,
I haven't looked at the calculations of what.
It'd be pretty minor or whatever. You know, I don't know. The state land's not gonna have any taxes on it.
anyway.
I don't know what kind of deductions the farmer may have on that either. It'd be a lot more expensive to try to update the road so it's usable. I mean, it's grown over, it's full of trees.
I understand, but we're continually trying to figure ways to keep money in the budget. I hear that all the time, and you keep spending money, and we have been taking money from time to time out of the reserves, the emergency reserves. So when you do this, even though it's a little bit here and a little bit there, it keeps adding up. So I think you need to start looking at numbers, figures, cost associated with all these little things. Because it's costing taxpayers on the residential side and the small business side a lot of money.
And they keep maintaining them anyway.
Okay.
They make deals with them and they maintain them for the farmer.
Just my opinion.
All right, thank you. Anybody else?
Move to close the public hearing.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next is consider the resolution.
It's on your, the actual resolution?
You gave it to us.
Yeah, you have it before.
I will read it. Whereas a public hearing was conducted on December 18, 2025, following publication and service of notice as required by law on the proposed vacation and closure of a portion Harrison County Secondary Road described as following. Interior Avenue commencing at the quarter post on the north side of section 2-81-44, then south 28.79 chains, then south 50 degrees east 5.10 chains, Cattaway, then south 21.5 degrees east 9.62 chains to intersection of the northwest southeast section 2-81-44, 490 feet east of the northwest corner of said 40. Thence east 12.87 chains, then south 20 feet east of the line 6.06 chains to intersect Little Sioux and Preparation Road, terminating at a point on the north right-of-way county road known as Ireland Place within .785 miles to be vacated. Whereas no objections have been received by adjoining landowners, either in writing or by person present, now therefore be it resolved by the Harrison County Board of Supervisors that the subject section of the road be ordered vacated and closed.
Most of that road is not even on here, what you just read. I mean, it's already been plowed over.
Yeah, it would take a lot of money to
Yeah,
get
it's not
that
even, you
road.
can't even see it there.
Make a motion to approve the resolution, as Ryan just read.
Second,
Any further discussion? Do roll call. I'm a yes. Rebecca?
Yes.
yes.
We'll all have to sign this resolution.
Yeah.
You want this back?
Just sign it.
Okay.
John, you have an update for us?
Don't have too much. I guess we've been doing snow on the weekends. I wish it snowed during the week. Maybe we get that fixed. We're melting off now. We're gonna try to change over to custom brush on the roads as long as they stay solid. Also reviewing bridges. We have that closure in Woodbine, and you figure out a resolution for a couple other bridges that seem kind of critical. So that's what I'm working on, and working on the 5-year plan as well. That will be due in April, and I'd like to have that ready to go by budget time as well. So that's about it.
All right. Any questions for John?
Great.
Perfect. Let's do the cash count.
We will get back,
Anybody's welcome to follow us.
and we'll count the last of the pennies, I guess we'll have.
I got lots more home.
John, I have a question. So when you close those roads, they still can request to have them maintained and like that? Or you have road in there that maintained like a couple times a year and like that? I've seen it.
No, on this one, it's vacated, so the counties gave up the original easement, so the property reverts to the previous landowner. So there's nothing there as far as the county easement moving forward. A level C, we close those, and we could have to potentially go in and maintain them.
Yeah, why?
That's-
Why it's closed? Why go in and maintain something you shut down?
Right, and that's defined in the.
I can see shutting down something from this point to go into somebody's house, and it's not gonna go any farther, but that Melody Oaks Trail, those people were sick and couldn't come in here and fight that. And I wasn't here either. I was down with my mother that was sick. And they came in and said right away on that, to stop it, and that's in the middle of a road. That doesn't make any sense, and now you guys go in there and maintain that 1 mile section.
I don't know that we've been in there since I've been here.
Well, I knew that they were, because I asked the road graders that, yeah, if somebody requests, we go in there. So why don't just leave it open and get the money off of it instead of maintaining it for one person? Does that make any sense? Go in and maintain for one person?
I haven't been through that road completely, I don't know if we can't maintain.
That
it
road
stably.
is in better condition than any B road around here.
Okay.
Didn't make any sense at all, and you were part of it.
Right.
Yeah, he was here then.
Yeah, I wrote the resolution, I was here as a
See?
temp.
And did you know that there was 100 people that petitioned then, before that? And then there was another petition of almost 100 people, and you went for one person against, like, the whole area.
I guess when I look
So
at
I
it,
see it's not for the people, it's for one person.
I guess when I look at it, like a personal property rights, those people along that property, they gave that easement, they voluntarily gave that property for a road.
That wasn't
If it
even,
was-
that wasn't even theirs to
Right.
start with.
Right, let me finish, please. But if they gave that voluntarily to the county doesn't see a need to keep that and they want it back, they should have that right to that property.
The county didn't see that to keep it, when the attorney said to open it, sheriff was in here saying, yeah, it would be a good idea to keep it open, and I wasn't even here. I mean, people are upset about it, and I can just see what's happening at the next election. There's elderly people that live there on oxygen and everything else, that if that one section of that road, those trees fall on that, we have a storm or anything, we were told, you can go around through the field. How are you gonna go through a muddy field with a car to get to emergency and stuff? That was another exit for those people, and I'm telling you, that is an elderly population there, and they need emergency vehicles.
Right, there should be something.
And that's why the sheriff said to keep it open.
There should be something in your subdivision ordinance that prevents that many people being landlocked on a dead-end road too. So there's lots of things that need fixed to maybe maintain that safety or fix those situations. I mean, as a political-
I think that was their emergency exit, John. I think that was part of the concern, but I'm not 100%.
It was.
I understand where you're coming with personal property rights, but that was my understanding, their exit out
Right.
of that main entrance. So to your point, which is a very good point, every subdivision should have a second exit. And so now the county has closed that second exit, probably would end up in a lawsuit to try to reopen it and revoke their decision at this point. I don't think things are always thought out clearly, you know. And you weren't here very long, so you weren't in on all of the cabal, but.
I was just writing ordinances.
Yeah,
from the
no,
county.
I understand, I don't wanna put you under fire, but, yeah, to your point, if there's supposed to be, yeah, no, it's good to talk about it. But if there is supposed to be a second emergency exit, that exit doesn't sound like it's available
Right.
anymore.
But
Is there a way that you can go in and verify that? Can you go in and verify if there's another emergency exit?
no, and I don't even know if it's required in your ordinance. I mean, the way that development happens probably shouldn't have happened to begin with, I guess. So somewhere, yeah.
Well, ordinances change, you
Yeah.
know, that's old development, that's why I'm asking if there's any way you could go in and verify. Have you been up through there to verify any of that?
I need to get through the subdivision ordinance that you guys have probably at this point.
Okay,
Kind of further along though, if driving through the field's not gonna work as an emergency exit, I don't know how driving a mile of level B road is any better than driving.
That road was
Either
all
one's on the
redone.
road.
I think it was maintained, but I don't know that for a fact.
That road was all redone, and it was all rock rubbed and everything by taxpayers' money. We used that for while they were paving, we used that for a detour. And then I asked them, why don't you take the rock off and give it to, where it's needed? Oh, there's not enough on there. Yes, there was, because there's still rock on there.
Yeah, you can't pick it up and reuse it. It never works when you pick it up and reuse it, it's contaminated dirt. I've tried it several times.
No, they just said there wasn't enough, and then they stuck a sign up there saying heavyweight vehicles. There's no reason why heavyweight vehicles can't go over it. There's no bridge or nothing on it. It was just a farce, that's what it was. That's exactly what it
I'm not
was.
aware of a lot of it, so yeah.
I know you didn't know, I'm sorry about, kind of attacking you, but I've been working on that for years. Because it was going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and actually it was supposed to have been opened, but they wouldn't open it. They wouldn't take, the attorney even said, you need to take down the gates and put the actual signs up because it is open, but they wouldn't open it. And I was over it. And Struble had it, so it's supposed to have been open in the spring and in the fall for anybody to go over so the farmers could get to their fields. But there was always a electric wire after you got so far. Yeah. Don't worry, I'm not done with it yet.
On another
I get that
note,
vibe.
thank you guys in secondary roads for doing a good job on the weekends and stuff. Having a little bit of pavement cleared up and stuff on the county roads is awesome when we're trying to go somewhere on the weekends, and I think you guys have been doing a great job.
Thanks. That first one really packed down, couldn't
Yeah.
quite get it unstuck.
I second that.
Yeah.
Living out in the country, we never, 5 years ago, we never saw a plow on the weekends, and I was surprised, was it this Saturday? Whenever it snowed last, I was surprised that there was,
So I probably made somebody else mad by having plows out, is what you're saying.
You did good. You're doing a good job, John.
Thank you.
I plow for the state as well, and seeing the guys out kind of helping around and stuff, and just even for me to get to the shop is handy. So thank
It
you.
was even in the paper that Melody Elks people, don't you call because we're not coming out there before you came.
Did you hear him say that? They're saving him. Oh.
That used to be that, and I was here when, Juniper said, that we will not go out after 4:30 on midnight. No, I thought that was very, and I said, if you're gonna have that policy, then you need to tell people that that's what you do. It was.
That after they gave up that 183,
Oh, yeah.
it was always the state always did it, it was always clear and nice.
Which we expect.
They gave it up and I went, oh, if they do it anyway like they're doing the other roads, and there it went. We had drips and everything.
Well, I would verify if there's another.
We only have that one coming in and I kept fighting with her because there's big trees that can fall over.
Well, there should be another, that's what I agree with John on that.
I've been that for years, but
It's kind of dangerous.
but you know who, I think all along he was paying on that long plan because I called Slugas and that owned that property that they bought. And they live in Florida. And there was a stepbrother that wouldn't get out of the house in Florida, so they were trying to sell stuff. And they told me that land was going to be selling. Well, I think they've been paying on it, doing the land contract or something like that with them. So they didn't even live here, so they didn't.
Where'd they go? They were just in our office.
Well, nobody's gonna be here.
Can you ask them?
Well, no, I'm gonna be out of town in Brandon.
Yep.
So I don't have it done.
Information.
So I can compromise with them. Because technically, yeah, technically, you don't have to count into somebody anymore, they are. You only have to count at the fiscal year.
The state sent us.
This will be good. Have to get your wells count in December.
She's like, this and Nobody told us that.
You mean today?
Oh, not next week, not next week, not next week, this is probably.
County's safe, all the money's still there.
I'll sit and.
Yeah, no, she get a regular chair. All right, Angie, you're up.
Again, Andrew Remington, Executive Director of Golden Hills. I've been putting up with Brian for almost a year now on our board of directors. Yeah, you all have two documents here. One is just sort of the more formal, wordy spelled out version, and then there's a pretty wordy pictures and the highlights there. So Lance and I are here today to ask you to consider adding Golden Hills to your 2026 budget. We are requesting operating funding because it allows us to be really flexible and be responsive when different projects come up or when there are different resources needed. For instance, the Harrison County Trails committee that has been kind of revived this year by Lance is something we don't have grant funding for, so that his time and his travel up to hold those meetings hits our operational budget. So if I were requesting $15,000 operating funding, there's a few slides here on the presentation. One is just an overview of our mission. I'm not really going to bore you by reading that out loud, but basically we work across 12 counties. On the third page, there's some highlights of our different programs, which are land stewardship, outdoor rec and tourism, water resources, local foods initiatives, and then arts and culture initiatives. And we work in collaboration with dozens of different community partners across the region to make all of that happen. I think particularly in Harrison County, there's a large focus on the outdoor recreation tourism. I was actually just thinking, I've seen this magazine cover here that says Les Hills and Iowa Treasure, which is funny because on my way up I was like, I feel like Harrison County really is like the gem of the crown of the West Hills. I think it's one of the most beautiful counties to come hike, bike, spend time in nature in a way that you just can't get in some of the other counties in the area. There's a page here about our different goals. Again, it's just sort of reiterating that we help develop different industries and local communities, utilizing local resources. We want to ensure that we have healthy natural resources that meet the needs of agriculture, industry and private use. We promote art and culture and historic resources. We collaborate with local governments, such as the board of supervisors in various counties, and we work on projects that fill gaps in community services. The next page shows a map of the different counties that we work in, and our focus is a little bit different in each county. For instance, for some of the counties, like East Potawatomi and Montgomery County, that are in the watershed, we have a lot more water resources work that we do there. And then here, again, in the West Hills, Harrison County, it's more the outdoor rec and tourism and the land stewardship. And there's also little parts of local foods and some of the water resources that creeps up here, but that's in the fuller presentation. So again, we are requesting $15,000 in operational funding. And then the next few slides is just kind of highlighting Golden Hills investments in Harrison County in recent years. I think the relationship actually probably goes back to the beginning when Golden Hills was established in 1981. There's files and files of records if you're ever curious. But even from what we can scan easily and see in our files since 2010, there's been a really close collaborative relationship between Golden Hills and Harrison County. Some of the recent projects that we've worked on just in the last year, we've had a lot of focus on trail accessibility and signage and helping collect data on trail usage here in Harrison County. We manage and promote the 3 scenic byways in western Iowa, including the 2 here in Harrison County.
3.
Do all 3 cross?
Yeah, 3 actually comes under. This is, I think, the only town in Iowa that has 3 scenic
All 3.
byways.
Okay, well, all 3 scenic byways in Logan County. That means that we coordinate on the back end, making sure that there's appropriate signage and making sure that we're promoting the different towns and businesses along those routes as well. One of the biggest draws, actually, registration just opened the other day for our annual low-high track and sold out, I don't know, in an hour, almost instantly. So that's that's an outdoor rec and tourism program that brings people for a multi-day hike, and the location moves every year. So the last time I think it was fully in Harrison County was 2022, but is it touching Harrison County next year?
Monona and
Harrison County next year. And then working on the revival of the Harrison County Trails Committee, which already has come up twice this morning in various conversations, so I know that's a priority for you all as well. Some of the impact we have with local foods is we manage the funds for the Harrison County Farmers Market, and we actually have done that since at least 2010 at no cost to the Harrison County Farmers Market. And that means that when they receive their fees, they pass them on to us, and we distribute funds by request as well. Our local foods coordinator, Jamie, regularly holds farmer meetups up here in Harrison County. We're publishing a local foods guide. Actually, it's a website when you can go in and people will be able to search a product like, oh, I want apples. Where can I get apples in Harrison County? And be able to see an interactive list of all the different producers and go to their websites, find out when they're open or what the process is to get those foods. And then recently, we partnered with the Center for Rural Affairs to hold the Southwest Iowa Local Food Summit, that's a mouthful to say, up here in Logan, which brought more than 125 people from, let's see, what's the number there, 6 different zip codes. So that was a great event. It was a really fun day. And then the land stewardship piece, actually I might have you talk about the seed harvest that you do, since that's
So
your...
we partnered with County Conservation and DNR to do prairie seed harvest, so we get volunteers to go out and pick prairie seed, and that's used for restoration projects primarily. And we also, with the county, they have allowed us to take some seed and then we do a native plant sale in the spring.
Lance is also the stewardship chair of the West Hills Alliance and runs a lot of the educational programming up here in Harrison County, which includes the annual First Day hike and the Pass Flower walk through the West Hills. So again, kind of bringing some other folks from around the region into communities. And then the last really slide of content here highlighting just some of the different funding that either Golden Hills has passed through directly or collaborated with local partners to bring Harrison County in recent years. Just last year, we passed through $40,000 to the Friends of West Hills State Forest to increase signage, to install a trail counter, to put in some interpretive panels, and then, as I was talking with Tyler this morning about putting a new byways kiosk here in Logan as well. So that's all funding that Seth on our team secured to pass through directly to the county. And then the last 2 pages are just us, the team. Just want to point out my beloved dog Sandwich. I bring him up here to hike a lot. He's a great little trail dog, even though he looks fluffy. And he did a good trail dog. We also have a new trails coordinator, Charlie Schilling, that we just hired in recent months. So his focus right now is on Potawatomi County because the county has invested in us being able to hire that position, so I think that's fair. But I was telling Brian, I do want this to eventually be a regional position. And I want him to also be part of the Harrison County Trails meetings or Montgomery County, Mills County, and just, we can't operate in a vacuum. We need to know what the long-term plans are for all the different counties so that it can be cohesive. So that's another resource for you all as you start to develop and implement.
You also have Paul Osman working in your office as well.
Yes,
With
yeah.
Hungry
from him.
Jays.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that you?
Yep, he has some office space, and we work pretty closely with him on some of the water resources projects. All right, any questions for me or Lance?
In the mid-90s, I put in a pond and did a tree planting, and Golden Hills RC&D did all that for me.
Yeah.
I mean, they charged a very small fee, but they helped get the grant funding, and kind of led me through the whole project, so
Yeah.
it's been a long time ago.
Yeah, they were also instrumental in Sire ethanol. If it
Oh,
wasn't
okay.
for Golden Hills, Sire ethanol probably wouldn't be there, and I think Harrison County farmers
Oh, yeah.
benefit from that being here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's been a really great relationship over the years. Like I said, I'm fairly new to the role, so I'm still always uncovering new little bits of history. That's really interesting to know as well. But that's exactly what we exist for, is to be really responsive and flexible when landowners or local governments need help getting resources, securing grant funding, with the technical implementation for some of our programs. For instance, we are the ones that contract with the engineers and kind of facilitate and coordinate those different structures or things being implemented. So
And we stopped funding in 23. I think 22 was the last year we gave to Golden Hills. Because the direction Golden Hills was headed at that time. I think that's turned around. Last 2 years with Lisa Fox coming in and being interim, and then now Angie, they're in a much better position at this point.
Yes, that's my understanding as well, and I'm going around to a lot of the counties that we work in and having these same conversations, because I think that funding relationship has lapsed in recent years, but in order for us to be able to continue to provide those resources, we need to have that operational funding, so survive as an organization. We have to sing for our supper sometimes.
This isn't something we have to decide today?
No, this will be when we get to the budget.
Request.
Well, thank you so much for your consideration.
Thank you guys for your time.
Thanks for all your work in Harrison.
You don't have to stick around.
I know, we have a tea potluck, so we actually might.
Okay. Gotta set your fire.
Yeah, I got a car full of chili. Should have brought extra.
And I'm going with them.
Thank you very much, it was nice to meet you.
See ya.
There's extra chairs up there now.
Wendy, yes.
Okay. All right, good morning. Nice to see you again. All right, you want me to sit here, is that okay? Okay. So, good morning again, I just want to thank you for allowing me to come speak today, and thank you for your continued support of Lesson for Action. We are requesting the same amount as last year, which is $4,850. And that funding goes to Health and Outreach Services, any local match we have requirements for, or support any additional funding needs we might need to serve residents in Harrison County. Also, I want to thank Brian, he's on our board. He does a great job, he's very supportive, attends our meetings and asks great questions, and just really
Always
appreciate your
suggest
support.
skipping a meeting.
Yes, so no, we appreciate that. But I've just provided some packet of information, just outlining some client demographics, and then we'll kind of talk about a few services that we provided throughout fiscal year 25. So we serve 336 households, which consisted of 681 individuals. Of those households, 53% were single person, 53% had an income below the 100% poverty guideline, and 52% were on a fixed monthly income. And then 40% were between the ages of 18 and 59 years of age. And then if on page 3 it starts to talk about the services that we provided. So Head Start is one of those. It promotes school readiness for children ages 3 to 5 in low-income families by offering a variety of educational, nutritional, and social services. And we operated one Head Start classroom in Harrison County, which was located in Mo Valley, and it served a total of 13 children. However, this school year, we have now moved that classroom into a school partnership with Harrison County, and it's going great. So Mo Valley needed more space, and so then we had to relocate, but have a great new partnership with West Harrison School District. And then we have child care resource and referral. So that program assists families in selecting child care providers who best meet their family needs. They also deliver technical assistance to providers for preschools, centers, and homes. And there were 17 child care programs with a capacity of 516 spaces listed with CCR&R. And then Child and Adult Care Food Program, or CACFP. So that program just really promotes good nutrition, positive eating habits for children who are enrolled in registered child care homes. Staff also perform training, home visits, inspections, and record-keeping reviews. And we had 49 children who were enrolled at 3 home providers who participated in CACFP. And then we have LIHEAP, or our utility program, and that really just helps low-income households pay a portion of their heating bill. We had 313 households that received utility assistance of over $168,000. We also provide crisis money, or ESEP, that helps with service continuity, furnace repairs or replacements, service delivery, and reconnect fees. And we had 31 households that had over $13,000 in that funding.
And then we have weatherization. So, I'm sorry, I forgot to introduce Kelly. Kelly is our weatherization director. He always comes along with me too to all these meetings, so I'm so sorry. Sometimes I remember right away and sometimes I don't. So.
Sometimes it's okay.
Yeah, so that jarred my memory. So he's in charge of the weatherization program, and so that program helps homes increase their energy efficiency and save money on the fuel costs. Staff evaluate the homes. We hire private contractors. They go in and insulate attics and walls, might do a few repairs, replace windows, those sorts of things. And we had 3 houses that received over $152,000 worth of services in FY25. And then on page 5, we have family development and self-sufficiency, or better known as FADS. We live in acronyms, so anyway, that program works with families who are at risk and have children, and are also 175% or below of the federal poverty guideline. FAD specialists really provide intense case management services. They work on their goals, their strengths, to really help them move on the path of self-sufficiency. And we had 8 families here in Harrison County that benefited from that program. And then we also have a food pantry. So households and individuals who reside in Harrison County can access that food pantry up to 6 times a year. We assisted 83 households and 206 individuals. And then we also had the Iowa Individual Assistance Program, which can help disaster assistance up to $7,000 for any household that's 200% or below poverty, and 5 households received assistance for over $8,400 this last year. And then page 6 just shows the program dollars and the value that either directly go to clients or local vendors, and that was a little over $691,000. And then on page 7,
Is this just in Harrison County?
yeah, this is just Harrison County, correct. And then page 7 shows the admin and delivery costs. We really do try to work to keep our admin under 5% and our delivery costs under 20%. We accomplished both of those. And then the last page, page 8, is just a summary. And as you can see, over $878,000 worth of services were provided by West Central Community Action to residents in Harrison County. And again, on behalf of all the employees, the board of directors, just want to thank you for your continued support. So, any questions?
Thank you, we appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah, all
You
right.
asked for how much?
Same as last year, 4,850. So we don't ever really increase. So
You can take my 401K and do the same thing. I'd be very happy.
yeah, wouldn't that be great? All right. Well, if there's no questions, thank you so much, and have a great holiday. So,
Thank
all
you.
right, thanks.
Happy holidays.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, discuss action to consider December 26th as a holiday for county employees. I know this came up in our 4 county meetings. Is it something we wanted?
Some are doing it.
Put this on the agenda. Did you put this on the agenda?
Just for discussion. From my standpoint, I don't see that.
I don't know.
I don't even realize.
Mostly because of, well, some reasons, but we also can't.
It's too expensive for a day off.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, so we can move past that.
Okay.
Recorder bank reconciliation.
I've included my November bank statement, my DNR balance sheet that I use, and then I think the last 3 sheets you guys get anyways to look over. I give Megan the originals and I keep a copy.
On this slide, on that last one, because it says discussion action, and we have to take a vote.
Just failed for lack of a motion, but
Okay. Sounds good. We all have to initial it, or just Brian?
This is just saying that they did reconcile it.
Yep.
Show it to us.
a small wedding.
DNR report.
Yeah.
You have DOT in there too?
Chargers and DOT stuff.
Oh, it's this,
Right there.
that's a miscellaneous receipt that my office issues
Okay.
for funds that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I got the treasurer's 2 checks, at the end of the month, and one is for, yeah, taxes on like registration and stuff, so, and then that's just a receipt that I gave them to check.
So Felicia, all of
Breakdown.
those UTV and ATV registrations, that money was the DNR, does any of that come back to Arizona?
We get, $2 per registration, per title, and we get a certain percentage of the tax too, that if, whatever tax is paid, I think it's like 7 point something.
So you do all the work, and you get $2.
And that's just for your administrative costs. As I go down the road, I think there's more of those UTVs on the road than there are cars. Do we know, once it gets to the state, if any of that goes into RUP fund, or might be something for ISAC to
Like what-
lobby for us, so we'll get some of that
Well,
registration.
We used to have that, and they took it away from us.
Well, our service fee went up from $1.25 to $2 just in the last couple of years, so we do get more now than we did. But I mean, it's just a little bit more. But yeah, they supply the paper we print on, the printer,
Sure.
they supply all that, and then the computer system we have for like hunting and fishing, they supply all that, so like that doesn't come out of any of our pockets. Just
What's it cost to register an ATV?
It's $18.50 for registration, if there's titles on all of them, so $13.50 for that, and then whether there's tax or not.
My understanding is a good portion of that money goes to UTV, ATV parks. We don't have any of
I
those.
didn't think we did.
I don't even know if there's one in the state of Iowa. I have to do a little more research. into it.
Yeah, because there's one up north somewhere, because
Okay.
people call us, it may be in,
Is
I
it
don't know
private or
what county
state?
it is. Oh, maybe it's state. But I know people call us because they want to go up there and ride their, like, dirt bikes and stuff like that, and so they call us about like user permits and stuff, so.
There's one in Fort Dodge.
Is that where it's at?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
one
knew there's
in
one
Fort
like north somewhere. Is that state or county?
That is a state, because you have to DNR.
Good. I'd like to see some of that money come, and it's not your thing,
Yeah.
it's a nice
Yeah.
sack thing, but.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we can improve our areas.
All right, thank you. Next, we have update on JCO office space. Did you guys get this later?
Yep.
So, we talked about this a couple months ago, and I kind of let Shelby, Cass, and Audubon fight it out, because they were not happy with each other, and ultimately what came out of it was they want to split ways and everybody's on their own, which, in my opinion, works out best for us. So we have to provide a space for our JCO. I went upstairs to the 3rd floor, we have an empty office that is used, I've been told, depends on who you talk to, anywhere from a couple times to a month to maybe once or twice a week. So my recommendation is to take that office back, give it to JCO, and then, they were using that office for like attorneys to meet with clients and things, which we don't have to provide a service for, or
Sure,
room
we
for
have
that.
conference rooms.
But yeah, we have the conference room, so in the letter that I drafted, if you guys are okay with it, I'll go ahead and send this to court services, letting them know that effective July 1, we're gonna take that office back over, give it to juvenile court services, and then they're welcome to use the conference room on the 2nd floor anytime they need to. We budgeted approximately $8,100, I think it was, for office rent. So that'll be an automatic savings back to the county.
So this will come back to us, this
Next
8,000.
fiscal year
Okay.
in July, yeah, if you're in the courthouse, we're
Yeah.
already providing that space,
Yeah.
so.
Is that also
It might-
better as far as having her here, having her closer rather than have her third?
I mean, we were providing a space for her the days when she was here anyways. We're just not providing a central space for them anymore, so she'll have, instead of having one central office and two, like,
Saturday.
yeah, so she'll just have a satellite office here and a satellite office in Shelby County. So, we are going to have to, we have to buy a desk and,
filing cabinet, a chair, because there's nothing in that room right now. There's a table and a couple folding chairs, but that cost won't.
It's not gonna
So
add
we
up
don't
to
have to,
$8,000.
yeah,
No.
we don't have to do like computers or printers
No.
or anything like that, so, a simple desk and chair and filing cabinet is all she's asked for at this point, so.
Is the law library books in there?
They are.
Nobody uses them.
They don't, everything they do is,
Online now.
online
You
now.
can search now.
Yeah, it's gonna take a little bit of cleaning, but I don't think it'll be an issue, so. If you guys are okay with me sending this to, court services, I will send that to them, and then hopefully, everything will go smoothly.
I think it's great. Income.
Yeah, and plus expenses,
Mhm.
it's expensive, yeah, so.
Alright.
Any questions on that?
No.
Do we, I guess there is one question, should we have that as an action item next week,
You put it there?
or whenever we meet again?
I would like to meet next week or so.
Okay.
On the 25th.
Yeah. 9 a.m. would be
Yeah.
too fast. We can open our stockings here. Just so quick. Which, when you always from the firm. Just, I don't know how many of us will be there in 24. Everybody has plans.
Okay.
Alright. Yeah, look out for action. IT services. I think you all have,
So does that?
so obviously we have,
Oh, sorry, on this, does that mean you have to wait to send the letter until we do the action?
I think so, if we're gonna meet Tuesday, let's wait and have that as an action item.
Approve it.
okay.
You can sign it then too, whatever.
Okay. I think you all have it, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is just a simple one that came in that packet that ICIT sent us. So if you guys wanna discuss, now you can discuss, your thoughts on what was presented, how you wanna move forward, if you wanna move forward with hiring. This is a job description that they gave us, if you wanna go ahead and approve it today, you can.
I know we talked with the 4 county group, we're the only ones that don't have one. And then I talked yesterday with Cass, Montgomery, Fremont, Page, and Mills. And they all have one.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a need. I always ask two questions, is there a need, can we afford it?
Yeah.
We've established there's a need. The affordability side of it is, we've looked at the numbers, the amount of money we're putting into labor. I think if we cut all of that labor out, I know the sheriff is very big on mainstay, he really likes his IT vendor, and I don't think that any of this is saying that he has to do away with his vendor.
Well, I think we eventually
It's
get
just-
to that, yeah.
Right. Just a lot of the labor stuff, I think we can keep with our in-house guy and cut the labor side of this vendor out.
Well, I think if we go through the budget too and look at what people are spending on equipment as well, with no plan,
Yeah.
Right.
there's a savings there too.
You're looking at $90,000 just in labor.
Yeah. They don't tell me that's not enough though.
I don't think we can afford to not do it.
Yeah, they're all
as
paying
far as-
100.
I think ICIT said anywhere from 80 to 100 is a good rate.
I was talking to Lonnie from Mills and he says, you know, we tried that too, but to get the really good people, you had to pay a little more. And they got their IT people doing a lot of stuff like the security to the doors and
Yeah.
all that. So
Yeah.
their IT person opens the door for people,
The other thing I
because they have a
wonder,
button.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have
the other thing I wonder
Yes.
is if it will help our ICAP premium. If we have an IT person putting security things in here
Yeah.
in place, it's gotta help insurance premium as well. So far, that hasn't been discussed.
that. Good point. Put that down. Is, I don't know, you guys ready to take action on this or what?
I think sooner is better, don't you?
I think we can take action to move forward, we still gotta set up
Right.
our
Right,
salary.
I would like to see the person start July 1, so they're
Yes.
coming in at the beginning of the fiscal year.
I agree.
Why are you looking at it like that?
The ICIT people suggested sooner because most of your contracts expire July 1. Let them get
Oh,
running
that's true.
before the
So where
contracts
would we pull that
expire.
out of?
Well, and
Pull back everybody's budget.
you can
take a little
I
bit
mean,
over,
what
but
they haven't spent?
obviously, you know, last week at Fort County, we discussed that a portion of it can come out of elections,
Yeah.
because if they're doing election work,
So then we can
which
put
that
it in a
comes from
supplemental.
supplemental.
Yes.
Your Department 52 budget, you're gonna have to buy a server, so you don't have a lot of extra room there, but I think you probably have enough to get you started at least.
You have to buy a server anyway.
Yeah, and,
So would
you know,
April 1 be a good date? Or March 1?
I
March
would
1's
just
probably
say-
pushing it.
I would say start the process and don't set an exact
date
date
yet?
until, I mean, you get somebody who's excellent and they can't start till April 15th, or you're gonna say no.
I think we do that and we lean on that ICIT group to help us go forward.
Sure.
Yeah,
And
like
I
I said,
would-
they would review
They'll set the
applicants and
path.
things like that, so.
I don't know, it's your guys' thoughts are, but I'd also like Mitch to be involved in the
Yes, absolutely.
interviews as well.
I wrote down a group with some department heads that have stuff like Dave, Mitch, Megan, people that,
We'll be
kind of-
working closely.
yeah. So they would work with the ICIT to give us this path forward.
And I like the idea of the ICIT people going through the applications and weeding out the frivolous.
Yes.
Yeah, Micah said he could tell us, you know, they're not qualified, they're qualified. I would set your salary range wide, so that, you're holding yourself to a higher one if you
Right,
don't.
What are you guys thinking for a salary? 80 to 100?
Yeah,
that's what I'm at.
that's what I was at too.
Mills and Montgomery, I know, all these people here are right at 100.
I like the idea of posting the position locally and on Indeed.
Yes.
Which I think she'll have. And Micah said that if we send it to them, they can send it out to some of the groups
Yeah.
that they go to that are IT.
IT groups, yeah.
So, are you guys good with this job description? I don't know nothing about it. Micah gave it to us, so that's.
Well, that's what we're gonna use them for.
Yeah, so if you guys are good with it.
I also move that we post the position for IT, for applications to be accepted through.
One Feb?
We're just doing till Phil. Yeah,
Till
I would say
Phil,
just
there you
until
go.
Phil. Application until Phil.
The only thing is people drag their feet sometimes, you say until
Oh,
Feb,
yeah.
you want them to get their application.
Let's do February 15th.
Good?
Sure. That gives us 2 months. At a price range of $80,000 to $100,000.
Yeah, and then, can someone pull out of the budget what we're spending? Everybody's spending on equipment and stuff.
Well,
Is that a line, should be a line item in their budgets?
kind of. I'm gonna send budgets back
Okay,
this week and, ask them to essentially pull their IT
Yeah.
services for next year and tell me how much so that I can put it into Department 52.
now that labor thing I saw, like 80,000, that doesn't count equipment or anything.
And actually, we redid some numbers and it's closer to 95,000.
Because we pay when we go over there.
So I don't think you're as far off as.
All right, there's a motion on the table, is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Budget hearing. So you guys all have that in front of you, so I'll go over it quickly, but, all we're doing today is setting the date for the public hearing. We're not approving that one in it specifically. So, there's a lot. So that first one, the 30,000, that's opioid funds, so, we've had the opioid committee had a request for some additional funds that we hadn't, anticipated, so that's not a budgetary line item, you guys won't see anything different there. The next 73,000, that's out of the sheriff's, grant fund, so they got a King grant, and they didn't budget for that expenditure, so it's, offsetting revenue. The next one down, the 4,000,
The next one down is 7,000.
or 7,000, sorry, out of 04. That's the
what Sarah and I came up with, the additional wages for Shirley going
Okay.
full-time versus part-time, starting January 1.
But that's just for January 1 through June 30th.
Oh, yeah, through June 30th. The 13,250, that's attorney court expenses, so we had that blood spatter
Yep.
that we had to use, some of that money that was, set aside for
I
carpel.
think it cost her 15,000.
Yeah, so that 13,250 is offsetting that expense. The 06, 2,000, that is, clerk of court, jury expenses. They do not pay grand jury. 42,000, that's to juvenile,
JDC.
yeah, JDC for that juvenile that was in detention from October to April, that cost
Yeah, we
us
paid
40.
that,
We
yeah.
paid it, but we need that,
Move it
we
back.
need to
Cover that.
cover it now to continue paying ourselves, so that was 41,900. That next one down, that is the IRS audit amount. So, yeah, pretty much. The next four are all health insurance amounts, so those are for departments where maybe, it's across multiple departments, but it's, you know, somebody maybe was previously on like a employee child and now they're on a family, or they were on employee spouse, they had kids and now they're on a family, so it's costing us a little bit more. So that's where, yeah.
Seems like a lot.
Health insurance is not cheap. The next two down are Matt Pitts. So he is asking for 2,500 out of his planning and zoning budget, which is, he had some parts break on his truck and he had to pay $4,000 to get fixed, so he needs a $2,500 amendment. The 5,000 is an offsetting grant one for wells, so that one comes with reimbursement from the state. The next two are for the jail, $10,000 for each line item there. They had to replace some showers, some toilets, things like that, so they're already over budget over there. And Garrett's expecting that they're gonna have a few more, but those are coming out of the jail fund, so those are not budgeted also. And then the last four, the next four, I guess, are the ones that John talked about last week. So there's something out of secondary road fund, so those are already allocated.
This is just money moves, is what this is.
That one, those ones,
Yeah,
that
he's
one,
already
those are
got
already
his.
allocated.
Yeah,
And then the last one is, we already budgeted it last year, it's court doors.
yeah.
We thought we would have it paid out in July, but we didn't make our, obviously didn't make our final payment until just a couple weeks ago. So we have to move it into this fiscal year. So it's not expenditure moving, it's just
Okay.
showing it on paper.
Courthouse doors, you said.
Yeah. It's just showing it on paper. So really the only ones where you're gonna see the actual expenditures coming out are
Health insurance.
health insurance and then
Sheriff,
those like five under the sheriff. The 73,000, that's not an offsetting grant, so
okay.
160,000 approximately. And that's not guaranteed that it's gonna go out. Based on hopefully positive. So if you're just setting your public hearing, you're not approving the amendment or anything like that. You can still ask questions and we can always reduce these down. I want it to be January 8th or to get publication deadlines.
That's, you have to do three or just one?
Just one.
Move to set the hearing for the budget amendment for fiscal year 26 on January 8th. Let's do it up at 9 AM.
I'll second.
You made the motion?
Okay.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Discussion on application for volunteer bodyguard positions.
so we're all done, other than, I was not able to talk to Jesse Bosworth, Civil Services. There's not really like a board, so that spot, I don't have to talk to her about whether she wants to serve on. Hopefully by January 2nd, I'll have been able to get a hold of her. If not, I guess we'll just have to leave it vacant. We did Board of Health last night, did Conservation Monday night, planning and zoning earlier this week. We've got 3 to move forward for planning and zoning. We have Los Hills Alliance, there's only 2 spots as a director and an alternate director. We have two applications. So, and then, Conservation, we had 3 applications for 1 spot. In lieu of what was said at the 4-county meeting, they talked about how the other 3 counties have,
All the counties I talked to yesterday, the same way.
they have a member on
And every one of
conservation, they have a voting member.
Shelby has one on their development board too, Shelby County Development.
I don't know, what are your thoughts?
I don't know why we never had the board person voting on there anyway. I complained about that from the beginning, because what's the point? You know, they're gonna come brief you what they wanna do anyway. So, I don't know, where you,
I don't disagree. But where we've already said we're gonna do it this way this year, do we go back next year then and change that to a voting number?
well, I think everybody needs to understand, and I don't think it's too, I think it's too late this year, that one of their members is gonna get bumped or not filled.
Next
Because-
year.
Yeah, next year, because someone's gotta come off, hopefully when they're leaving anyway.
On the
Since
board,
you already vetted it.
right, and I get that,
Mhm.
I get, we've already said, this is
Sure.
how we're gonna do it. The Board of Health though, we only put 2 members, that we have 2 members up for, their terms are expiring, and there's a possibility of there being a 3rd spot open that we did not advertise, and so in that case, we could put me on as a voting member, because that one we did not
That
advertise.
works.
We have 6 applications for Board of Health, and we said we'd look over, we're gonna take the recommendation, but we have 3 to look
You might
at
still have
each
an open
spot.
one.
But we do have an open one.
Okay.
Very likely have an open one January 2nd because of
They have 7 board members over there.
7.
Did you want to discuss that possible opening now, or? I
No,
said
I
not
thought
to
it's gonna
December
wait,
2nd.
because we don't,
Or January
it
2nd.
sounds to me like more than likely it's going to be, but it's not 100% at this point.
Right.
So why don't we get to that January 2nd meeting, and then possibly
Point that-
January 8th, we'll go back and discuss that position. Does that work?
Right.
Thanks for me.
On
I
that.
I signed up to speak at the end of the process that's,
Okay, yeah,
I
that's
need to
fine.
follow. So.
Good.
I agree with that, the conservation, as long as the thing that we have to remember is if we're gonna put somebody on conservation next year, because I respect the fact that this is how we said we were gonna do it, so it's really not fair to try to put one of us on there this year. I should have applied, I guess I could have applied. Nate and I talked about that.
Well, we just didn't talk to the other counties.
Right,
We're the
because-
only county that has,
Our deadline was December 8th, and we had that meeting on December 10th, so it's like,
Yeah.
oh, if we were gonna change it, we would have had to do it before the deadline.
but I think we should somehow approve that in January, so everybody knows that,
We'll get ahead of it,
Yeah.
so, like we did this year, where
Yeah.
we planned it ahead of time.
yeah.
Right, yep. So, I think the process went well, and we'll go on January 2nd.
Good.
Right. Next, we have discussion action on confidential safety information. Glenn, has he?
Do we need to go into, are we supposed to go into
Yeah.
closed session?
Glenn, this has to be, you wanted closed session?
I would like closed session on this, yes.
This is closed session for Iowa Code 21.5, 1K, to discuss information contained in records in the custody of a governmental body that are confidential records pursuant to section 22.7, subsection.
Can I make a comment? Do you want to do the public comments before this? Or you want to wait till after this?
Is everybody gonna stick around, or?
Or do you want to do that now?
How long? Do you have
We might
any,
be for a
like,
while.
estimated?
Me, I don't have a set time limit right now, but Mitch, are you good to?
Depends on how many questions you guys have.
Right.
Okay.
You
So,
guys want to,
I mean,
what do you guys
it's-
want to do?
I think we should have public
I do
comment
too,
now,
so
instead
that keep
of-
everybody
we don't
waiting.
wanna-
Okay, we can do that.
I don't want to make anything out.
Yeah.
Not that you can't.
Right.
I don't want
You could
to
stick out there in the hallway, this might take a while.
The board will now allow up to 30 minutes for comments from the public. The board will call speakers in order in which they have signed up on the form provided. Each speaker is limited to no more than 3 minutes for speaking and must first state his or her name for the record. Comments should be directed to the board as a whole and should refrain from personal attacks or from addressing individual employees or citizens. Comments should also be limited to one topic. Detailed information about the public comment policy is available upon request. First we have, let me get my clock. Name.
My name is Nate Epperson. In January of this year, Harrison County Conservation Board was the only board that was not allowed to reappoint an existing member to another term. The Board of Supervisors agreed to a plan in November to have the applicants submit board-approved applications to the supervisors by the deadline of December 8th. This application process was posted on the website and paper, Facebook, etc. On December 10th, 2 days after the deadline, I was made aware of a potential new plan that would be presented to the supervisors, one that would bypass the posted application process, waste the time and efforts put forth by our department and the applicants. We pushed forward with the posted process, holding a meeting with our director, our liaison, and myself as president of Harrison County Conservation Board on December 12th. We reviewed the 3 applicants, discussed what they could bring to the board, and came to a conclusion on who would be the most qualified candidate. Overall, all 3 options would demonstrate the characteristics sought after in a board member as shown in the Iowa Association of County Conservation Boards Board Member Handbook. We are working for a process that is fair, impartial, consistent moving forward, not one that changes year after year. Harrison County Conservation Board asks for a member with a proven history of promoting conservation, one that wants to be involved in our mission, and as noted in Chapter 350 of the Iowa Code, have a demonstrated interest in conservation matters. Thank you.
Next, we have Marilyn Davis.
Marilyn had to leave, so I can
I bet you
either
could speak for her.
take her spot, but I'm also on there, so I didn't know
Yeah,
how.
let's just have you do yours.
Okay.
Unless she has something different.
Well, I did,
There's time-
but it can wait.
If there's time for your 3 minutes at the end, you get 3 minutes, talk about whatever you want in that 3 minutes.
Okay. So good morning. Brad Doyle speaking on behalf of Marilyn Menser. She asked me to read this, came from the state, and then would ask that when I'm done, I'll give Brian a copy, and if you would get it posted on the website. But this is promoting private well safety. It's from Des Moines. It's the Iowa Source Water Protection Program and the Iowa Source Water Agricultural Collaborative are partnering with the Iowa Department of Health and Human Services for Source Water Protection Week, September 28th through October 4th, to raise the awareness about the importance of protecting Iowa's drinking water and the resources available to private well owners through the Private Well Grants Program. Safe drinking water is essential for healthy families and strong communities. While public water systems are regularly tested and regulated, thousands of Iowans rely on private wells as their main source of drinking water. Unlike public systems, these wells are not subject to routine monitoring, which means the responsibility for ensuring water quality falls directly on the well owner. Without regular testing and proper maintenance, wells can be vulnerable to contamination, potentially putting households at risk. The Private Well Grants Program was created to help ease the financial burden of maintaining and protecting private wells. The program provides funding to assist well owners with the cost of testing for their water for bacteria, nitrate, and other potential contaminants. It also offers support for repairing or reconstructing wells that are no longer in good condition, helping ensure that they remain safe and a reliable source of water. In addition, the program provides assistance for closing abandoned or unused wells. These wells, if left open, can act as a direct channel for pollutants to enter the groundwater, threatening not only the individual households but other communities that may be using that aquifer. Protecting Iowa's drinking water source requires both statewide efforts and individual action. When private well owners take proactive steps to test, maintain, or properly close wells, they are contributing to a healthier environment and stronger water security for their communities and the state as a whole. Private well owners who want to learn more about the Private Well Grant Program can learn more from the following links, which are below. Additional information about water source protection in Iowa, and again, the links are there. And this comes from Matthew Dvorak, DNR Source Water Protection Coordinator, with his contact information at the top. One thing I will note, I wasn't privy to the actual conversation, but Marilyn spoke to the director, and I took it, my words, she was surprised that this information wasn't out to the general public. So I'd ask that you get it put up on our county website so that private well owners have another resource to help maintain their well. Thank you.
Next we have David Shear.
Let's see, I'll just read a short statement. At the Harrison County Board of Health meeting on November 9th, they voted to request that the Board of Supervisors consider removal of one of its members for lack of attendance at meetings. This member last attended a meeting in September of 2024. It had been discussed and requested that I reach out to this member. This happened at the September 2025 Board of Health meeting to assess their willingness for continued service. I've reached out by various means over an extended period of time and have received no response. I should note that this person was very active before and I would say an essential member. It was the Board of Health's understanding that the request for removal could take place at the January 2nd meeting coming up. A new appointment could be made at this time to the Board of Health. After further investigation, I'm not so sure you can do both at the same time. So the Board of Health did establish a policy to request this action at its meeting in September of 2024. In regard to this proposed action, I found a 2024 ISAC presentation that provides instruction on the process to follow. They recommend, according to this presentation, that supervisors may make appointments to various boards and commissions. Some of those boards and commissions have applicable laws or their own rules on removing an appointee, so we have established our own. As a general rule, always put a removal in writing and give the person an opportunity for a public hearing on the removal. And then there's Iowa Code quoted. I didn't know how you wanted me to proceed with that. I felt like the action should come from the Board of Supervisors, since you're the ones that do the appointment. I could work with Sarah on sending a certified letter, or...
We can't act on it today because it's not on the agenda.
No, but that's a good point, and I agree with that, but we can put that on for next week or something.
Yeah, so I don't know if you want to address that next week and then possibly take the action, like you've said, at the January 2nd, and then at the next meeting, then you could consider an appointment of a new person. But I thought we needed to be aware of the process, at least that they're recommending that we follow in this regard.
Yeah, let's follow the process.
Yep.
Okay. So we'll, let's see, do it at the January 2nd meeting. Is that, I guess I need to find out how I need to contact.
No, we'll have to,
Let's discuss it next week, how we want to do it.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's make discussion and action next week in case we.
All right, next we have Michelle.
Michelle Sturts. I just wanted to applaud the supervisors for the steps you've taken to get to the point for hiring an IT services. I can't imagine how you've gone this many years without having IT services. I've never worked anywhere where I didn't have IT services, so thank you for that. And the other thing, I just wanted to see if you could put on the agenda, could you see where we're at with microphones? Because again, cannot hear back there. And so I know it's been a number of months that it's been talked about. I'd just like to know where you're at with it. Thanks.
We could be closing the door to it. Well, that noise, like sometimes back there, I can't hear because the noise coming in there too, so let's look at that, yeah.
That's all for public comment.
I'll move that we go into closed session.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll calls. Tony?
Yes.
Rebecca?
Yes.
And I'll be yes.
Thank you, guys.
So when you come back from closed session, you'll go back into open session?
Yeah.
And then what's the order of business after, when you come back?
Adjourn.
Thank you.
Yeah.